Welcome back to Two Sense Unfiltered, where common sense meets truth, raw, real, and unapologetic. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a topic that riles up political operatives and patriots alike: why the U.S. Census should only count American citizens. Now, I know this isn't a feel-good episode. This is the kind of topic the media tries to bury under bureaucratic jargon and feel-good rhetoric. But we're not here to sugarcoat anything. We're here to speak facts and filter out the fluff. Let's start with the basics. The U.S. Census, taken every 10 years, was never intended to be a headcount of the world. It was designed as a constitutional tool to count persons in the United States for the purpose of representation and taxation. But here's the kicker. When the Constitution was written, the assumption was that those persons were tied to allegiance, to community, to the fabric of American life. In other words, citizens or legal residents with legitimate, permanent ties to this country. Yet today, millions of non-citizens, some here legally, many not, are counted equally with citizens when it comes to redrawing congressional districts. Think about that for a second. States that openly defy immigration laws, harbor sanctuary cities, and flood their populations with undocumented individuals are being rewarded with more political power, more seats in Congress, more taxpayer money. Let's be real. The only reason some people want everyone counted, regardless of legal status, is to pad congressional seats in left-leaning states. Period. California, New York, Illinois, these states have seen native-born populations shrink, but their political clout hasn't. Why? Because non-citizens, many of whom can't legally vote, are inflating their representation in the House of Representatives. Imagine that. Legal citizens in Michigan, Ohio, or Iowa are being politically diluted because another state chooses to look the other way on immigration enforcement. This isn't democracy, it's demographic manipulation. Now the opposition loves to cry foul, but they're residents. They live here. They count. Sure, they live here. But the question is, who are we governing for? We don't let non-citizens vote in federal elections. We don't draft them into military service. They can't run for office. So why should they determine the political power structure of our nation? Representation without obligation. That's a recipe for chaos. Let's break it down. When illegal immigrants are counted in the census, it causes districts with large non-citizen populations to require fewer actual voters to get a representative. In essence, one citizen's vote in a district full of non-citizens carries more weight than a vote in a citizen-heavy district. That's not equality. That's political gerrymandering by another name. And the founders, they believed in fair representation, yes, but also in sovereignty, in the idea that citizenship matters, that a nation must know who belongs to it. They never envisioned a future where citizens would be politically shortchanged in favor of foreign nationals. Now, let's not confuse compassion with confusion. This argument is not about cruelty. It's about clarity. We can still treat people with dignity. We can still pursue immigration reform. But the census? That's a numbers game with real consequences. And the moment we allow our political representation to be shaped by those who have no legal stake in this country, we surrender our democracy to demographics. Let me be blunt. If you don't have skin in the game, legal, civic, and national, you shouldn't be shaping the playing field. Citizenship should mean something. It should be the threshold for counting when it comes to political power and congressional apportionment. Here's the solution. The census should ask one simple, essential question. Are you a U.S. citizen? If the answer is no, you're not part of the congressional headcount. Not because you don't matter as a person, but because you're not part of the civic body responsible for electing leaders and shaping laws. This is not radical, this is rational. And let's call out the agenda here. The only reason anyone fights tooth and nail to include non-citizens in the census count is to gain more power. That's it. They don't care about representation, they care about leverage. It's politics, not people, driving this debate. So here's the bottom line. If we want a nation that values citizenship, if we want elections that aren't distorted by foreign headcounts, and if we want representation that's truly by the people, for the people, then the census must reflect the people who have chosen to be Americans. Citizenship is not just a status, it's a bond, a commitment, a responsibility. And it's time our census and our Congress start honoring that again. You've been listening to Two Sense Unfiltered, no spin, no script, just truth. If you liked what you heard, share it, rate it, and keep tuning in. Let's keep the conversation going and keep the system accountable. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay unfiltered.